Okay, got my tool. Hello.
Hi.
Happy to be here. I'm Gus. I really like laser pointers, so this is fun. Today I'm going to be talking about NASA stuff. Specifically, I'm going to be renaming NASA stuff. And I'm also going to be assuming things about the principal investigators of these NASA projects. I really like this presentation. I've given it once before. And I'm really hoping that I don't have to eventually retire this because people start to get wind of what I'm talking about here. So we'll just keep it like a little hush. We're all in on something here. So for those of y'all that don't know me, this is pretty much everything Earl just said. Earl asked me for an intro, and then I gave it to him, and then like a week passed, and then I was like, oh shit, I need to add an intro slide. So it's like the same stuff, but I got some video or visuals here too, so that's good. Earl couldn't talk about that. Hi, I'm Gus. This is me over here not knowing quite what to do with my hands. This is my lovely partner, Kyla. I am from Littleton, Colorado. I don't live there anymore though, so it can't be that great.
Hey!
I live in Washington, D.C. with, again, my lovely, beautiful partner, Kyla. We also live there with our two cats.
Oh, don't worry, they'll be in there.
The arrows go up and down, not like right and left. But it's kind of a test of like how your brain works. We got the reveal. This is what everyone wanted. This is Nave. This is Beastie. They're both really weird.
They really are.
Beastie especially is
special.
Weird shit. Love it for it. But Nave also is brilliant. So we also love her for that. So we all have a great time in DC. We'll make it out west eventually, so maybe you too could meet Nave or Beastie. Anyway, so I'm a material science PhD student at Colorado School of Mines. I'm defending in a week and a half.
Woo!
So Heidi brought up some emotions that I realized I haven't processed yet because I never took the GRE. And my advisor forgot that I didn't take it. So I'm hoping I can get another week and a half in without her remembering. So, I didn't tell her about this night, so I think I'm safe. I'm also an artist, so I do drawing stuff. This is rust buckets over here. I like making zines. We can talk about that later. That's not the point tonight, though. Creative coding, also something that's kind of cool that I do. Especially if any of y'all are interested in any of this stuff, find me later, especially creative coding, because there's a creative coding thing going on tomorrow in Denver, which I happen to be here for, which is cool, right, Andy? I'm also a NASA Solar System ambassador, so that's why tonight I'm talking about some NASA stuff. I'm not talking about material science stuff, which probably everyone here is happy for. Unfortunately, I don't have 3D glasses for everybody tonight, but the NASA Solar System Ambassador Program, public engagement effort, basically there's a bunch of engineers who apply to be a part of this program, and then you go out and spread science. How does that work? I regret using that word with a child. But anyway, communicate science and the excitement of space and discovery with your communities. So I do stuff with libraries in DC. I actually did an art event for the Artemis program last weekend. So I'm really getting my presentations in leading up to my defense. So y'all are kind of guinea pigs right now. This isn't what I'm going to be defending, but which is probably good. Again, disclaimers. Disclaimers are good. I'm not a space expert. I like space, and I like talking about space, and I like finding people that will listen to me talk about it. But Earl was showing his shits he finds online. These are also some shits that I found online. Yeah. Approximate knowledge. So give me a little bit of a break here. What I'm talking about today, so this was too long to put in the title, so it was NASA concepts, but really what I'm talking about is the NASA Innovative Advanced Concepts Program, or NIAC. I know it's NIAC and not NIAC because for some reason the people at NASA always say things how I don't want to say them. NIAC. These are visionary ideas that could transform the future of NASA if they have breakthroughs. Could be radical, could be incredibly new. Something capitalism. I really want to focus on this good part right here. And that's because these things are like really out there concepts. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what this presentation of these concepts is going to look like tonight. So first, I'm going to present you a title of a few of these 2023 NIAC, gotta have a little check there, NIAC, not NIAC, NIAC awarded projects. So basically this NIAC is like this big pot of money that people can apply to dip their hands into and then do some weird stuff with. Making me think back to my slip up earlier. Anyway, so I'm going to present a title. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the proposal. It's all based on the abstracts that these folks submitted, so some of them are more detailed than others, and I'm saying that's not my fault because the abstract was all that was available. I'm going to give the proposal a more honest name. That's going to be kind of fun. And then the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a completely unfounded and perhaps inappropriate judgment about the PI, the principal investigator. So that's the lead researcher, that's the person that got the grant money to do this weird shit that they're going to do. And here's a great example of it. So this first one, Titan Air, leading edge liquid collection to enable cutting edge science. They actually did a good job here. It looks like either somebody on their team is very talented or they actually commissioned an artist to do this like weird stuff that they want to do. So this is, as the name might imply, this is a mission going to Titan. So that's one of Saturn's moons. That's Saturn's largest moon. It's the second largest moon in the solar system, actually, behind Ganymede, which is one of Jupiter's. Ganymede, whatever you want to call it. In The Expanse, I always read it as Ganymede, so that's how we're going to go with it now. What are they doing with this thing? They're making a low-cost flying boat. This is lifted directly from their abstract. That's like an absurd combination of words. But that is kind of what it looks like here. So, remember here that it is low-cost flying boat on a different body of the solar system. I imagine it's slightly higher cost than if you tried to get a boat to fly on Earth. Okay, so what are they doing with it? They're focusing on atmospheric and lacustrine science of, relating to, formed in, living in, growing in lakes. Atmospheric and lacustrine science. what they're gonna do with this project, they want to. Okay. Stop. Go on. Titan. Going back here to Titan. Titan's so not only is it really big, so second biggest in the solar system. It's about 150% the size of the moon. Our moon. There's a lot of moons. It's all 150% of our moon, so it's pretty big. But the coolest thing about it is it's the only other place in our solar system, the only other place that we know of generally that has something like the water cycle on Earth. So Titan has clouds, it has rains, it has rivers, lakes, as we know. It even has some seas. I don't know why we're focusing on lakes and seas. That was in the abstract, but they have all that stuff. They have a cycle like our water cycle, but it's all methane. So it's really cold, so methane flows like water. It's suspended in the air. They have lakes of methane. They actually have water ice on Titan also, but the water ice is more of a rock on Titan. So there's like a hard bedrock of water ice underneath the methane seas on Titan, which is fucking weird. So there's a bunch of methane and other organic molecules floating around in the atmosphere. So what they want to do with this low-cost flying boat, they have porous edges on the aircraft/watercraft, which again, this is lifted directly from the abstract, for delivery to the science payload as a continuous fluid stream. And I felt like I just needed to deliver that to y'all to not take away. They didn't have any middle schoolers read through this beforehand, which I feel like is an important thing you should have for at least a front-facing abstract in your scientific papers. But anyway, so this leads us to the second bullet. If we go back, or maybe third, I can't remember the number. Whatever bullet was after me telling you about the project, probably number 3. I'm going to rename this something that I believe is more honest. So Titan Air goes to, our scientists couldn't agree on a later atmosphere mission and we can't afford it. Even with the low-cost airplane boat. And what do I think of their PI? I think they own a boat even though they live in a landlocked state. So we're all dreaming about those floating boats and flying boats. Okay, next one. We got biomineralization enabled self-growing building blocks for habitat outfitting on Mars. So y'all know about Mars. It's this color. So Mars is far away, and that makes getting there a little bit harder than getting other places. So if we want to eventually be on Mars or go to Mars, do something with Mars, probably we want somewhere to live in and be there, so you don't have to just be like floating out on the Martian dirt, etc. So this project is an alternative to shipping things to live in on Mars. So usually if you're gonna like live in something on some other place, if you want to do that, you have to have something there to do that, and usually you can't bring those there the same time you're bringing people there. So that either let's hope it comes before the people get there. Regardless, it has to be a second mission, even if the mission comes first, it's secondary because that's the not as important one. Maybe. That seems pretty important, but anyway. So we want to figure out a different way to have something to live in on Mars. So what they want to do is have in situ construction, which means you're building it once you get there with things that are already there. So in this case, these nice Martian colored regolith. So regolith, that's just the dirt that doesn't have any like living stuff in it. But we're going to change that with cyanobacteria and fungi, which will be used as a building agent. Which I know there's got to be some lichen fans out there. Are there lichen fans out there? So lichen usually got some kind of bacteria and some kind of fungi that come together and then like grow on rocks. So what they're doing here, they're using this like constructed cyanobacteria to construct more things for them by producing these abundant biominerals, calcium carbonate. Wyatt knows what that is, right, Wyatt?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we got these biopolymers, which one of these things make. We're going to talk. It's just going to be one thing now: the cyanobacteria and fungi. So they make these biopolymers and biominerals, and it glues the Martian regolith together, and then you can use them as Legos, but they're like building themselves, which is wild. So they constructed this synthetic lichen, and it's self-sustaining in the Mars ecosystem. It's not even an ecosystem. I guess it is with this stuff here, but you have this dry Martian regolith, and then you add this synthetic lichen that they've thought up. They're going to grow houses and stuff for Mars. That's going to lead us here to my renaming of this project, which is, we made our own lichen system and we want to test it on Mars where any achieved intelligence won't destroy our life. I don't know. Maybe if you give lichen enough time, it'll do something dangerous. Listen. I think the PI has a bumper sticker that says, my lichen is that's right. I originally had it on their minivan, but I took it off because I thought I would offend my mom.
I don't have a minivan anymore.
Oh, okay. We moved on. She doesn't have a minivan anymore. Okay, the next one. We have the Ember Core flashlight. Long distance lunar characterization with intense passive X and gamma ray source. And again, look at this artist rendition. That's good. You're doing a good job. I'm interested. So what's this thing doing over there? This thing is equipped with X-ray and gamma rays that were originally designed for rovers, for keeping rovers and electronics warm. So basically, this group is taking this X-ray gamma ray system, and they're slightly modifying it for this new purpose of characterization on the moon. So this is a significant enough source of light. We know our X-rays and gamma rays are light, right? So significant enough source of light that it will be able to travel many kilometers, do some stuff to the ground, and then come back and then talk about what it did. So that means this is a Catholic rover. And basically that just tells us a little bit. Ideally, it's going to characterize our lunar soil for us. It's going to tell us what's going on over there. But I think a really important piece of information that again is lifted directly from their abstract here is this is being developed by the Ultra Safe learning that piece of information that really frames the Ember Core name in a completely different light. Different light. You're supposed to laugh earlier. Okay. So, my new name for this one, I actually think they did a pretty good job at the start of this. So we're keeping Ember Core, because that's pretty badass. This was my favorite. So we have the Ember Core. We juiced up a flashlight to face melting energy, and our motives are So what do we think of the PI? We think a lot of stuff about this guy. guy has a deep-seated inner rage, but also the project was named before the concept was created. Which is okay. We learned that just like J.R.R. Tolkien, everybody has their own process. Okay, this one's cool too. It's actually pretty short. It's rare, as we've seen, that we have a single line title. So we have our lunar South Pole oxygen pipeline. This is the pipeline. This is the lunar. So an important part of the Artemis program. This is real life. This is for realsies. This isn't just made up land over here that all these scientists are doing. So oxygen extracted from both the lunar regolith, again, so that's like the soil if there wasn't any like life stuff in the soil.
Whoa. Uh-oh. We broke it.
There's not an F12 on this thing.
Look on Earl's face.
I'll try to write a user report of what happened later. Okay, so Artemis program, we need oxygen. We love oxygen. So you need it for like drinking and breathing and stuff. But actually, you can also use it for like rockets and stuff, right? This guy knows. So that's important. There's stuff on the moon that has oxygen in it. The moon dirt, the regolith, that's mostly silicon dioxide, so that's got a couple oxygens in there, right? And then water too, which has another one. The water ice, there's water on the moon. I feel like that's kind of new. I feel like that's new enough that we didn't learn about it when we were young, and then when we got older, everyone's just like, yeah, there's water on the moon. Like, that's fine. That's crazy. I don't know. Anyway, so the water and the water ice and the sand, whatever on the moon is important, and we want to take the oxygen out of it. But then once you have the oxygen, you can't just like hold it, store it. So the plan is to just put it in tanks, which is what you do with it on Earth. But like on Earth, we have like tankers and trucks and stuff to move it around, and we also have oxygen. So it's pretty fun. So you can imagine if we don't have oxygen on the moon, we've got to be even more careful with our oxygen. We really have to chain it up to the walls and stuff. Wow, that was a pretty niche joke. Thank you for that. In labs, you have to be really careful and chain the oxygen to walls so it doesn't fall over and like, rupture. It's okay, it's not funny if I explain it. Okay, so again, we're using this term in situ. That just means you're making it where you have it. So not only are we using in situ oxygen for the Artemis program, okay, well actually only that for the Artemis program, but these people also want to make the pipe in situ, so there's certain minerals on the moon that have aluminum on them, or in them, around them, I don't know. They've got aluminum somewhere, and they want to use the aluminum to process and extrude these pipe shapes to build this lunar pipeline from the South Pole, Shackleton crater. Who's watched For All Mankind? Oh my gosh, you guys gotta watch that. You guys should check it out. It's on like Apple TV or something. It's like if the Cold War like still happened and like Russia made it to the moon first, or the USSR or whatever. Okay, anyway, that was a plan. I shouldn't have talked about that. Okay, anyway. It's not so happening anymore. So actually, I got really off topic here. So the Lunar South Pole Oxygen Pipeline, I think that's actually a pretty good name, but we can't just follow the Ember Core and not have something like really dramatic at the beginning. So I'm renaming this one Valorous Breath. Lunar South Pole Oxygen Pipeline. And I think that like is competing a little bit. So, I I think the PI is really into their gas. This is a new joke. It's a natural gas. It's topical. Okay, next one. New class of bimodal NTP NEP with a wave rotor topping cycle enabling fast transit to Mars. We know that one. We know Mars.
I recognize that word.
This one, I'm not looking forward to explaining this one because I don't know what a lot of this stuff is, and their abstract was so short. But I can find some stuff for you. So, NTP, that's nuclear thermal propulsion. NEP, that's nuclear electric propulsion. And bimodal, that means both of them. So, these are both kinds of propulsion. They're out, little diagram here. They got this big nozzle over here. I don't know if this is like supposed to be the bimodal second nozzle or something. I don't know actually what's going on over here. We need another arrow. But anyway, these two different kinds of propulsions have different specific impulses, which means they're different. But they're more or less efficient and are used at different parts of the travel to Mars. So this is what I'm giving you now. We got some Mars statistics. So typical transit to Mars is 7 months. That's a long time. If you're taking people there, you also have to have at least that much time back, plus whatever time you want to do Mars stuff. So that's a long time. So if you're going to Mars and doing Mars stuff, you probably want to have more time to do Mars stuff and less time thinking about doing the Mars stuff. So we want to cut that time short. So they say that this mission cuts it from, for these things, cuts it from 7 months to 45 days, which is pretty crazy. So this one definitely needs a new name. I'm calling, hold on, I have to come back to it. I'm renaming this one. They won't let us play with nuclear material here, so we're taking it to And I think their PI has way too suspiciously interested. They're doing something weird on Mars. Okay, the next one. Accessing icy world oceans using lattice confinement fusion fast fission. So this is a lot more nuclear stuff. What do we got here? We got a bunch of stuff that's in our solar system. We got Ceres, Enceladus, Pluto, Europa. They all are kind of icy. Some of them more than others. Some of them are estimated to have up to 40 kilometers. This is actually what I feel like this should be thick, but they use deep in the abstract, so I felt like I should use deep in case it was something that I didn't know. When in doubt, just copy what they have, right? So anyway, Ceres, Pluto, we got dwarf planets. Pluto's a dwarf planet now, get over it. Enceladus and Europa are both moons. This one is Europa. So Europa is a Jupiter moon. Enceladus, that's a Saturn moon. Europa, all of these are supposedly have liquid water underneath the icy ocean. Enceladus and Europa, because they're both moons of like very big planets, it's suspected that the tidal forces, like the pull, basically the opposite of what happens with our moon and our tides. It's like the tides on their moon, because that's where the water is. Moves stuff around enough that the water underneath the water ice is actually liquidy. And then Ceres and Pluto, I think it's like a little bit more like a baby, but there's no other like big stuff in the neighborhood, so they think if they do have water underneath there, it's because of like heat from radioactive decay. But anyway, so there's stuff under there. These places might be the most promising locations to find life beyond Earth in our solar system, especially Europa, which is over here. And over here, I guess that's so what this project wants to do is use waste heat from either depleted uranium or thorium salt reactors, so that's this lattice confinement fusion fast fission, to bore through the ice to get to the ocean where there might be life, which sounds crazy. So I'm renaming this one. We want to maximize the number of possible biospheres in our solar system. And I think this PI says, drill, baby, drill. You know I'm not wrong. Okay, so this is the last one, so savor it. Aerogel core fission fragment rocket engine. That's what this stuff is, the stuff that kind of fades into the background. This is a real picture, by the way. It's pretty wild that this is actually something that exists. So aerogel is this really light, as in not dense material. In space stuff, as we talked about earlier, we really want to figure out better propulsion solutions so people can have more time doing Mars stuff. This project hopes to overcome prohibitively massive fission engines. So we're not doing wave rotor anymore. What we're doing now is embedding fissile fuel particles in an ultra low density aerogel matrix. That's what this is. So you have your aerogel and we're like shoving uranium in there. We're shoving plutonium in there. And then once the uranium and plutonium is in there, what we're going to do is use magnets to hold it all in place, which that sounds very hard. So usually nuclear reactors have like steel and like a lot of concrete and all this stuff that like make sure the fissile material doesn't get anywhere bad. But we're going to use magnets here. It doesn't weigh as much. That's crazy. But it's aerogel, so it's cool. And that leads me to the new name. We still don't know what to do with aerogel, but we also have
keep trying to put them all
Remember that this is the last one. The PI won't stop doing what they think is a prank on their coworkers by pretending to struggle carrying what the PI thinks appears to be a heavy box, expecting their coworkers to rush in and help, except the PI tries to pull this stunt every week, so literally everyone knows by now the box is really just a big chunk of aerogel, but the PI still gets sad when no one plays along and guilt trips everybody else by bringing up the office team building exercise last year at the staff retreat when the PA got picked last for the game of pickup basketball in the hotel gymnasium and ended up crying and going home. Okay, and that's what I have for y'all. Please forgive me, NASA, and all of your collaborators. This is just a fun joke, and we all had a great time. I think Gus Becker. I just wanted to leave everyone off on what NASA's actually doing. Because of maintenance at its finest. I'm Gus. I've been Gus. I'm still Gus.
Soon to be Dr. Gus.
Soon to be Dr. Gus. Yeah, hit me up about zines and coding and stuff.
Let's give it up for future.
Yeah, okay, I'll do my best.
Very nice contract.
Okay, who's got questions?
Who's got space questions? Right here.
Yeah, what's aerogel made of, and why is it okay that that guy was touching you with his hand?
I had that
Is it
same
nuclear
fucking
stuff?
question.
That's a great question.
In a moment to think.
I don't know. That's like the least spacey thing in this presentation, so somebody will get back to it. Somebody Google it. Somebody Google it.
It's one of the least dense solids that we know of. I mean, it's mostly just fucking air.
Yeah, it's mostly air. That's a pretty name that they use.
It's like solid air?
Veritasium has been very entertaining.
Veritasium. Okay, that's
Whole video on it.
that's a great way to answer questions. Veritasium.
There's also it's silica.
It's silica.
fucking sand.
Okay, it's weird sand, everybody.
Answer.
We love weird sand.
Right here.
Thanks.
Used
man.
it to collect, if I'm not mistaken, comet particles.
Oh, aerogel. Actually, yeah. Okay, so I knew that slide was going to be a problem because I'm sure there's like interesting uses for aerogel. I just thought it would be fun to say that there wasn't anything else. It's really, it looks cooler than probably anyone like has a good use for it. But that does sound familiar. Like they like trail it behind comets and like catch stuff in it.
It catches, I want to say it was a comet, but it catches particles and then they send these containers and they send them back to Earth and they cause the helicopter.
Crazy.
That's
My shit.
That's really
They caught comet parts with squishy shit. That's what it just said. Alright, more questions. Right here.
Yeah, it's actually not squishy at all.
It's really brittle.
That makes sense.
What's the relationship between NIAC and something like GPL? Like, is it third parties versus in-house?
JPL, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so NIAC is all like external, it's like a NASA grant, so anybody external to that, that's why I said the like capitalist thing at the beginning, because like entrepreneurs or small research labs can like submit proposals and then NASA awards the funding to like 10 people or so. So that happens every year, and then there's multi-stages. So this is stage 1, which was released in February. There's a stage 2 and 3, and they get like slightly more concrete as the year goes on. I don't know if that's because people like have more time to work on the proposals or what. But something's happening there.
All the way in the back.
I can give you a NASA grant right now, but you have to name the project without having a concept. Do it now.
Gus has to come up with a NASA project.
I named the concept?
Name the project.
Name the project.
No concept.
Just the name. Oh, okay.
Ooh, he's got his thinking face.
Moon bars. Yeah! We're going to the moon!
With balls.
Balls. I said bars, but balls is like...
Oh wait, did you say moon balls or moon
I
bars?
said moon bars, but I want to change
Oh, I thought you said moon balls.
I want to like moon balls. We're doing moon balls. Thanks. We'll talk later. I'll give this.
Give the money.
I'll give you my
He's
Venmo.
got a big check back there. That's our door extraordinaire.
Wow.
Extraordinaire.
That's a big check.
Yeah, Ian's got it.
Did you leave it at home? He's running. I'm sorry. Any more questions? Last one. Right here.
If you get to Mars in 45 days, how do you slow down?
That's a really good question.
Well,
That was gonna be mine.
I bet you're probably only like going to Mars for 22 and a half of those days, and then like the other 22 and a half days you like try to stop going to Mars. The thing about getting to places in the solar system is you don't want to get there the fastest that you've been getting.
Yeah, I get there, but not on impact.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You want to like be not getting there by the time you get there.
Well, everybody, give it up for Gus Becker.